Today's Science and Spirituality will be presented in Bosnian and English, with subtitles in Arabic, Aulacese or Vietnamese, Bosnian, Chinese, Croatian, English, French, German, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Malay, Mongolian, Persian, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish and Thai.
The Bosnian pyramids are the biggest discovery in archaeology and one of the biggest in the science.
Po cijelom svijetu piramide označavaju liniju ljudske istorije, vijekovima blistajući kao dragulji duhovnog, intelektualnog i sarađujućeg postignuća. Od Južne Amerike do Kine, od Indije do Bliskog istoka, piramide ostaju nadahnjujuće kao što su zagonetne više hiljada godina nakon njihovog nastanka. Istraživački gledaoci, danas u emisiji Nauka i duhovnost predstavljamo vam prvi dio trodijelnog intervjua sa bosansko-američkim istraživačem piramida i autorom, doktorom Semirom Osmanagićem o bosanskim piramidama.
For the last 25 years, I have been investigating pyramids all over the world, and I know that they are not phenomena linked to Egypt and Mexico. They are built everywhere during the ancient times.
Dr. Osmanagić, nazvan Indiana Jones iz Bosne, posvetio je svoj život istraživanju drevnih civilizacija. Napisao je 10 knjiga o davnim naprednim društvima, kao što je civilizacija Maja, koja je cvjetala u Americi. Ovi tekstovi su objavljeni u Sjedinjenim Američkim Državama, Turskoj, Hrvatskoj, Estoniji i Bosni i Hercegovini. U 2007. godini on je nastupio na bosanskoj državnoj televiziji stvorivši dokumentarni program od 12 epizoda pod nazivom Potraga za izgubljenom civilizacijom, koji se zasnivao na njegovoj knjizi Civilizacije prije službene istorije. Dr. Osmanagić je slučajno otkrio bosanske piramide tokom posjete svojoj domovini.
In April of 2005, I first came to the town of Visoko. Even though for about 25 years I lived in the city of Sarajevo, which is just 20 miles from Visoko, I had no need to go there. And then I went there to see something else, to see the local museum. But when I saw such a beautiful structure with the regular geometry and perfect orientation, I knew it was a man-made structure. I climbed the top. Then I saw another structure across the valley, also covered by wood, and I knew that we have man-made pyramids, and somehow the picture started coming to my mind. I could see that the whole valley was paved. Everybody who were coming here had to go between those two pyramids. Those pyramids have been covered by soil and vegetation. We have to know that most of the pyramids in the world, like 250 of them in China, they are completely covered by soil. We have hundreds of pyramids in Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Honduras. They are all in the jungles, also covered. The same thing in Bosnia.
Postoji ukupno 5 piramida u gradu Visoko i sad dr. Osmanagić pobliže objašnjava ove gradnje.
Between the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun and the Moon, there is very obvious astronomical connection. Namely, the shadow of the Sun Pyramid moves in the valley, and before the sunset, that shadow covers the Moon Pyramid. In symbolical way, it's saying the rule of the day and the sun is over, and the rule of the night and the moon starts. I've seen hundreds of pyramids by the same name in Central and South America, but such a clear astronomical connection is only in Bosnia. The third structure I call the Pyramid of Dragon. Now, not because we had dragons in Bosnia, but dragon is symbol for the power and knowledge in China, in Mexico, in Peru. So I gave my respect to the knowledgeable builders. The fourth structure I called Temple of Mother Earth. In this society, we have forgotten to pay our respect to this planet, which gives us life. The ancient people knew how to respect this planet, and they did call it Mother Earth. And the fifth pyramid, I call the Pyramid of Love. We know that the words are very powerful, and the most powerful word is the word love. I want that this word color the valley with the love.
Godinama su brojni stručnjaci zaključivali da brežuljci oko grada visoko nisu prirodne formacije. U 2007. godini je dr. Ali Abdullah Barakat, egipatski geolog, izjavio: kamene ploče unutar brežuljaka su nastale rukom. Chris Dunn, istraživač piramida i autor knjiga Centrala Giza i izgubljene tehnologije starog Egipta, također vjeruje da su bosanske piramide izgradili ljudi.
In order to call something pyramid, you have to have 5 elements. Number one is the geometry. You have to have geometry of the pyramid. It means you have to have triangular faces, 4 of them. You have to see the corners, rectangular or square base. In the case of Bosnian pyramids, that's all what we have, so perfect geometry. Second element is the orientation. For some reason, all Chinese pyramids are oriented east, west, north, south. Most of the Egyptian pyramids also match the cardinal points, east, west, north, south. Most of the Peruvian, the same thing with the Bosnian. So for some reason, the orientation is very important factor. Number 3, there has to be construction material. In Egypt, they use limestone and granite. In Guatemala, they use volcanic stone. In Peru, they use adobe bricks. Always local material. In Bosnia, they use conglomerate to make the concrete blocks, and they use sandstone. Number 4, there are always inner passageways and chambers in the pyramids, and that's what we located with the satellite radar and the geo-radar on the ground. And number 5, there are underground tunnels that connect all the pyramids. All 5 elements are present in the case of Bosnian pyramids, so they fulfill all scientific criteria.
Dr. Osmanagić je osnovao neprofitnu istraživačku organizaciju nazvanu Arheološki park, Bosanska piramida Fondacije Sunca, čija je misija da olakša arheološka iskopavanja na mjestima piramida u dolini oko Visokog. Iskopavanje je započelo u aprilu 2007. godine.
And then I started the scientific project. I got involved so many wonderful people from all over the world, so many scientists, researchers, volunteers, and tourists who gives us moral support. So it has become a special place on this planet.
Između 2005. i marta 2011. oko 500.000 ljudi, uključujući razne stručnjake za piramide, kao i predsjednik Bosne i Hercegovine, njegova ekscelencija dr. Haris Silajđić, i njegovo kraljevsko visočanstvo princ Turki Al Faisal od Saudijske Arabije, su posjetili bosanske piramide. U augustu 2008. godine održan je u Sarajevu, glavnom gradu Bosne i Hercegovine, prvi međunarodni naučni skup o Bosanskoj dolini piramida. Na skupu je došlo da učestvuje preko 50 arheologa, egiptologa, geologa, arhitekata, hemičara te stručnjaka u drugim disciplinama iz cijelog svijeta.
The Great Pyramid of Egypt, or Khufu's or Cheops pyramid, is 147.5 meters in height. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is at least 220 meters, which is 1/3 higher, but 3 times more in volume. So when you have something so big, it changes our view of the history. The second biggest, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon, with its height of 190 meters, is also bigger than Great Pyramid of Egypt. Now, when we analyze the soil that covers the pyramid by the Institute for Pedology in Bosnia, the results have shown that the soil is over 12,000 years old. In other words, pyramids are even older. According to the mainstream scientists, Egyptian pyramids are only 4,600 and Chinese, Peruvian or Mexican 2,200. So if the Bosnians are over 12,000 years old, it means that they are not only the biggest, but the oldest. The discovery of Bosnian pyramids takes us back thousands and thousands of years before what we consider today as the beginning of civilization. The ancient Sumer, Babylon, Akkad, Assyria, ancient Egypt, ancient India, and so on. It's about 8,000 years. But the Bosnian pyramids are over 12,000 years, meaning we need to move the beginning of the advanced civilizations. So it's not just a matter of us adding a couple of chapters in our history books. No, we need to completely rewrite it. When it comes to radiocarbon datings, we've done a lot of analysis at the leading institutions like University of Uppsala in Sweden, University of Kiel in Germany, Silesian Institute for Technology in Poland, and we are getting a lot of results. 32,000 years is the age for a piece of wood that we discovered in the underground tunnels. And that's probably the time when the accumulation of this material called conglomerate started. So why is it important? Because under the conglomerate, before 32,000 years, we are finding some ceramic blocks up to 18,000 pounds. They are man-made. So somebody had technology more than 30,000 years to make those ceramic blocks. The age of the pyramids will be exact when we enter to the chambers inside the pyramid, which we haven't yet. And when we find the organic material that belongs to the original builders, a piece of wood, or bone, or charcoal.
Dr. Osmanagić je pomoću satelitskih snimki i vazdušnih fotografija doline oko Visokog utvrdio obrazac položaja bosanskih piramida. On kaže da se ovakav uzorak može naći na mjestima gdje su piramide bilo gdje u svijetu.
The three main pyramids in Bosnia, Sun, Moon and Dragon, they form equilateral triangle when you connect their tops, and the distance between the tops is approximately 1.5 miles. So obviously somebody was planning how to build and lay them out. Of course, we know that in the last few decades there were scientists, independent researchers who were finding very interesting stuff. For example, the three pyramids on Giza Plateau, Cheops, Khafre and Mycene, they form a triangle. Then three pyramids on the plateau of Teotihuacan in Mexico, the pyramids of the Sun, Moon and Quetzalcoatl, they had the same layout, which perfectly matches the layout of three stars in Orion belt.
Hvala vam, Dr. Samir Osmanagić, što ste razgovarali s nama o svom zagonetnom otkriću u gradu Visoko, a također i naša zahvalnost vašoj fondaciji za pomoć u otkrivanju dijela fascinantnog drevnog arhitektonskog nasljeđa čovječanstva. Detaljnije o doktoru Samiru Osmanagiću i bosanskim piramidama posjetite sljedeće internet stranice: www.samirosmanagić.com, www.bosnianpyramidofthesun.com. Knjige dr. Osmanagića su dostupne na www.interliber.com. Pridružite nam se sljedećeg ponedjeljka u emisiji Nauka i duhovnost uz drugi dio trodjelnog intervjua sa doktorom Osmanagićem. Hvala vam, divni gledalci, na vašem društvu uz današnji program. Slijedi emisija Riječi mudrosti nakon značajnih novosti. Neka sva bića uživaju vječni mir i smirenost. Thank you, wonderful viewers, for your company on today's program. Coming up next is Words of Wisdom after noteworthy news. May all beings enjoy everlasting peace and tranquility.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/SS.